Yes, it's the Berkey and the Badger Board Game Babble Show. It's going to get wild. It's going to get wacky. It might even get a little zany. We're going to talk about board games and the board game industry. And, you know, we might talk about anything else we want to talk about.
Hey, hey, hey! Welcome, everybody, to another Berkey and Badger's Board Game Babble Show. How you doing there, Barry?
I'm okay. Let's talk over each other some more, because we're professionals.
Oh, Barry dubs a lot, so...
Yes, and Berkey is Mr. Kevin, Mr. Big Hugsmeyer. I like that. I can't wait to actually meet you and give you a big hug because you're so huggable on camera. It
is my love language.
I need to find my Cartman teddy bear.
You need a big one.
Yeah, that's why I said Cartman. I could have said Kyle or Kenny or Manny. That's for South Park fans. Welcome to the show.
Well, welcome. It's so good to be back on the show. And today we've got our special guest, Dan King, the Game Boy Geek himself. Welcome, Dan.
Thanks for having me. We had you guys on the Dice Steeple last month, so it's good to be able to come onto your show for a change.
Hey! Absolutely. We're going to have a good time today. Our Board Game Babble topic is family values, talking about family board games. We're going to have a big blast with that. But Barry, before we get into all that, what you been up to, buddy?
What have I been up to? I've been doing lots of gardening at the moment due to the fact that the sun come out and lots of rain fell and lots of gardens got flooded and then all the weeds just like boom! And now I can't find the plants that I've planted or the vegetables. So I've been doing that. I've got a Quirkle tournament coming up for my association this week. It was postponed due to something. But we got a Quirkle tournament. I thought I'd do a Quirkle tournament instead of some other kind of tournament like Seven Wonders because they seem to be popular here. Everyone seems to be doing Seven Wonders tournaments, and I hate. Did I say that out loud? I'm not too keen on Seven Wonders. I've played it, and it's okay, but it's, you know, Quirkle's better. So, yeah. I got that, and I'm preparing for Paris Ludique, which is in a couple of weeks' time. So I'm looking forward to playing lots of games with French designers. And what have you been up to?
You always have a good time at that. You always have a good time.
What do you mean I always have a good time? Do you remember last year? I got there, and then 1 hour later my wife fainted, and then I spent the rest of the day in hospital with my wife because they thought that she had some kind of conniption fit and some sort. Yeah, I always have a good time there.
Well, I remembered you made the best of it, so that's why it was a good time. But yeah, you're right. That was a horrible thing.
Yeah, I made the best of it. I crashed the car.
I was mixing it up with Essen.
Yeah. Essen, I had a good time. Because I didn't bring the wife.
Well, I have been up to some crazy stuff. Can you see what's on my head for those of you that are... There is much intrigue in the kingdom. Is it the Baron, or the Marshal, or the Countess, or even the Cardinal who is trying to take command of the kingdom? No one shall be declared royal except the king.
Not the sheriff, then?
It is not the sheriff. I have been preparing.
No? It's not a reprint of Sheriff of Nottingham. 2.3.
No, that's coming up, though.
Yeah.
There's going to be expansions for the sheriff coming up.
Cool.
No, I've actually been getting ready to go for Origins, and we have the great honor and the privilege to work with Arcane Wonders again. First, we did the Sheriff of Nottingham, as many of you know, but we're going to be actually featured on the board game The Royals, and the king's likeness has actually been made after me, which was kind of a cool thing. And I'm going to actually be at the Origins game fair at the Arcane Wonders booth Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 1 to 5, representing the king of the monarch in the game Royals. And my daughter's made this crazy, awesome costume. Guys, you got to come by. If you're going to Origins, come and check me out. I'd love to interact with you and talk. They've got some free gifts that they're giving away, and it's going to be a blast. But we have been super busy getting ready for this. Can you see the handmade crown here? This is all made out of heavy-duty metal.
Sexy. Oh, sorry. I'll let you show that.
Pretty nifty, huh?
Very nifty.
Yeah, so that's been a lot of work. We've been preparing, getting ready to do that, and super excited to go to Origins. And I've never been to Origins before. Dan, you been to Origins?
I have not. I'll be there for 2 days this year.
Okay, you're coming Thursday and Friday, or?
Yeah, I'll be there late Wednesday night. I get in. I'll be there all day Thursday and about a half day Friday. And then I gotta come home and unpack, and then pack, and go to the Rocky Mountain Gaming vacation that next day.
Oh, yeah, Goldsmith. I just heard he just ended up from Dukes of Dice, just ended up getting a last-minute ability to go to that, so you'll have to check him out and say hi to him for us.
Yep, we will be hanging out, him and myself and Mike Fitzgerald for sure.
Some baseball highlights, 2045 going down.
I can't. Oh, wait, I can't. Wait. Oh, you said it. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Wait. I have a feeling this show is used to taking wild tangents. So
we're off the rails.
Okay, so check this out. I am such a crazy baseball lover that I bought these old starting lineup characters off eBay and got the Hall of Fame ones, and my dad and I actually painted the bottoms. And so if they were really fast, you know, who do we got here? We got the fast dudes. We painted them red. If they were slow, we put them white, and if they were okay, here's Ken Griffey Sr. He had a lot of stolen bases, so he's the red guy. So I have all of these crazy guys that they don't really fit on the board well, but they look really cool.
They look cool, yeah. See this?
Yeah, you got one too.
Joe Mauer, baby.
No, see, I said Hall of Fame.
Well, what you need, Dan, you need one of these. Maybe you already have one. Do you have one of these?
I did a review on those, yes, already.
It's like crazy awesome. If you can get this game mat for Baseball Highlights 2045, it's like super crazy awesome.
Anyway, yes, we'll be there. And yes, I will be at Origins for 2 days.
Well, we're definitely going to have to hook up. I'm going to be there. I'm arriving Tuesday evening with Lance Meister, the Undead Viking. Yep. We're flying in together. And Wednesday I'm going to be hanging out most of the day. Might help do a little setup or whatever with the Arcane Wonders guys. But then pretty much free on Wednesday and hanging out at the fair on Thursday. So we'll definitely have to catch up.
I'll see you at the booth. Are they selling Royals there?
It's very interesting. They have the German manufacturers bringing over a couple copies. They had a large air freight coming in, but they don't know if it's going to make it through customs. It's supposed to arrive Tuesday.
Okay.
So they are sure hoping to have copies at Origins, but they for sure will be having them at Dice Tower Con and a big release at Gen Con.
All right, yeah, I fell in love with that game, BGG Con, a couple years ago, playing it with the designer Peter Haas, and I reviewed it, gave it a glowing review, and I actually bought and imported a copy for super high prices when it first came out, and so I'm interested to see what the new one looks like. Yeah,
I've actually got the updated rule book, and we're going to do a Board Game Theater episode of this coming up in August, somewhere around the Gen Con release time. But it's just Peter Haas. He's one of my favorite designers. I love Francis Drake. One of his games that nobody really talks about is called Triassic Terror, and I love that game. And when he came out with Royals, man, it kind of fit everything that our family likes, and yet it's got a lot of depth and strategy, and the new artwork is like crazy cool.
Good. Can't wait to see it.
Well, that's what we've been up to. Why don't we move right into the news segment, things that make you go, hmm.
And fade. There you go. Great fade. Oh, dear me. I love life. Bum, 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 bum. How can I do this?
What's been making you go, Barry?
I'm going to edit that out as well.
So, Barry, what are some things that have been making you go,
One thing that's been making me go is the recent Kickstarter game, Skye, the expansion, which you can get the original Skye with, which has made me very excited due to the fact that I was going to, and it sounds like a perfect firefly killer for me. So that made me go, because Skye is just a sandbox and you can do whatever you want, kind of like in the game Elite. You take a ship and you can either be nasty, you can be nice, you can just be a merchant, you can just do exploring, and you get points for doing all these different things. And I am really excited to be able to back it and help finance the expansion as well as get the original base game. So that, as well as just the other day, Descent: Road to Legend has its first updated content, its first full mission, and it's free! Woo! Free! Sound effect, please. Sound effect. What shall I use? No, that was rubbish. So, free thing, and I can't wait to play it, and because I've been playing the little test demo, the Goblin. Have any of you guys played it? Yeah,
I haven't.
Or not even bothered? No. Silence.
Dan, you played Descent? No.
Nope.
Not that. Yeah, no. I thought when I saw the Skye. I haven't got to play it, but at the Dice Tower Awards last year, I think I got nominated for Best New Designer, and a lot of people were talking pretty highly about it, and it was hard to get a hold of. And so now that the Kickstarter's out, and you're going to be able to get a hold of the base game and the expansion, sounds pretty interesting.
Sorry, you cut out there.
Oh, I cut out? Okay, do it again.
You don't have to.
No, I said the Skye. The Skye expansion, the game was hard to find, and a lot of people were talking really quite highly of it at the Dice Tower Awards last year. I believe it was nominated for the Best New Designer, and a lot of people speaking highly of it, so that's fantastic that it's become available again.
That wasn't as exciting as the one before. Can you do the first one again?
I can do that one again.
I'm just joking. Yeah, so, yeah, Skye, cool. I'm looking forward to it. And Descent, to playing that solo. What a miserable, lonely person I am. So what's been making you go home then, Berkey?
Well, lots of new things that I've been seeing going on out there, but some of this is a little bit old news, but one of the things, the Spiel nominations have all come out, and for the KennerSpiel in particular, Pandemic Legacy, Isle of Skye, and Time Stories were nominated. And I thought this was a little bit interesting that these games were nominated in that field, because Pandemic Legacy, I know it went #1 on the geek list, but for a legacy game, and then Time Stories to be that type of ongoing game, that seemed interesting to me that it met those criteria in that nomination process.
Yeah, very interesting. You know, I'm a bit confused because I thought that other kinds of games, more family-friendly games, would have made the list. You know, even though it's the expert category, I would have thought a game which had a lot more appeal to a lot more players would have been in those categories, because those two games are very limited in their view, aren't they? They're playable only practically once, and once they've been played, poubelle. Sorry, French word.
Yeah.
Bin.
Yeah, it's kind of a game system, and now of course Time Stories is adding different modules, so there's ongoing play, and you can still play Pandemic Legacy after you've completed it. It's just you have to play the game you've basically kind of designed. I noticed that there was some honorable mentions. Our Blood Rage was honorably mentioned, and I thought that would be a perfect game, but nonetheless, when you look at these are kind of thematic games that are typically in a Euro market, and that's kind of interesting. You normally are expecting the Istanbul and the the Matt Gertz game. What is it called? I just lost it. Cordia. Games like that. And so I just thought it was interesting that we're seeing thematic, legacy. I'm not sure what that means going forward. I don't know if they're moving towards more Americanized games.
So what do you think will win then?
I haven't played Isle of Skye. I hear good things about it, but because of the popularity of Pandemic Legacy, I have a feeling that's the one that's going to get the nod.
I have played Isle of Skye a couple of weeks ago, and it was enjoyable. It's Carcassonne, but it has this whole other kind of mechanism before it, and it makes it really, really thinky kind of game. You really have to concentrate on what you want and also concentrate on what the other players want, because you're auctioning off these pieces of land, the actual Carcassonne tile, so to speak. And so it is a really good brain burner. I prefer Carcassonne myself because it's a bit more light, and then you can add whatever modules you want. But I did enjoy playing Time Stories. I've played as well, and I would say that was a good game, but I don't think it's that kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really go into that category of awards for me. It seems strange.
Yeah, I have a hard time with our game group getting that type of game played. But Dan, you probably have a lot of insight into the Spiel, being in the industry a little longer and knowing what they've been nominating over the years. And what's your opinion on honorable mentions and what they've come up with, particularly with the KennerSpiel category?
For this year, you mean, specifically?
Yeah, for this year.
Those games, typically the regular Spiel are more up my alley. But the ones for this year that you just mentioned, I've played all three, and yeah, Isle of Skye is a great game, but I don't think it's nearly at the levels of the other two. Personally, I like Time Stories the best out of all of them by far. It was my game of the year last year, but I could see them with the popularity, and I could see Pandemic Legacy probably easily winning that one just because of its overwhelming popularity and the legacy system and such. As opposed to past years, like last year it was like Elysium and a bunch of those other ones. I don't know. I think Pandemic Legacy's probably got it on a lock on this one.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Well, I think it's interesting. What do you think about the actual Spiel nominations for the Spiel des Jahres?
Well, the instant I played Codenames, I knew it was going to be a Spiel nominee. I played it last year at Dice Tower Con before it came out, and it just one of those games where the instant I played it, I went, "Holy crap, this is special." Same feeling I got when I played Karuba. Played it and went, "This is special." There's some games that you instantly play and go, "Whoa, there's something here." And those two were right off my head. I knew I had a pretty good feeling those were going to be. Imhotep I just recently played. Out of the three, this is going to be the favorite because of how popular it is, but based upon what I feel like that committee looks for, if I were a betting man, I'm going to bet on Karuba just because I think back to like the year Splendor was there. Splendor was the best game that year, but Camel Up won because it was the best family-friendly game. And I look at Codenames and I'm thinking, you know what, it's a little too thinky. It doesn't play that well with less than 4 players. Karuba plays excellent with 2, 3, and 4, and it's got that more family style thing. So I am rooting for and hoping for and betting on Karuba. But I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to tell. When I saw that category there too, I haven't played it yet, but Codenames, I played that same little paper demo copy that Josh was running around at Dice Tower Con with. I mean, it was just really crappy components, but it was the buzz of the con. Everybody was like, "Oh, have you played that?" And we had so much fun with it. but it's a party game, and like you say, it doesn't scale on the low side very well. So I'm kind of interested, but it's so popular that it might get the nod.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, and I would be, I love the game. I love Codenames. If it wins, I'll be absolutely happy for it, and it'll be awesome. It'll be like, yep, I can totally see that. So, but I like reprinted games anyways. So.
Yeah. What do you think, Barry?
I will go Codenames. I don't know why. I've just got this feeling it's Codenames.
When did they actually make the announcement for that? For the winners?
The week before. Oh, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
That was sometime in July, but.
Sometime in July. Corresponds pretty close to the Dice Tower Awards, then?
Mm.
I don't remember. I'm trying to think. I can't remember.
Yeah, they were about the same time.
Yeah. Well, that's our Dan. Do you have something that's in the news that's making you go hmm?
Yes. Well, Crash of Games has announced that they're going to be reprinting Finca, a really popular game. I think it was it nominated for Spiel des Jahres back a handful of years ago, maybe like 2011 or something like that. I played it a few years ago and really liked it, and then I played it again a couple months ago and went, wow, this game is just awesome. I mean, it's a pure Spiel type of game, and I really love it. And the components are awesome, and not only is he reprinting it, but he's redoing all the art, and he's going to make it so it's a North American map as opposed to the European map that it is today. So I'm really excited. I mean, people have been asking for this to be reprinted for a long time. And I've been asking for it to be reprinted. So I was surprised that no one had picked it up, and there was silence, and apparently there was silence because he was working out a deal, and once it got done, it's announced. So yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Well, it sounds from what I heard an interview with Patrick Nickel, and I think it was Dukes of Dice, and he was just so excited about the new company, moving from Crash Games to Crash of Games, and his partnership with Geek Chic and all that. But he was talking about games that they were really wanting to deluxeify, in a sense, bring them to market in a real deluxe fashion, and you could tell how giddy he was about it, but he couldn't really talk about it at the time. But he was talking about, we're self-publishing, we're not doing this Kickstarter, we're going to do something really awesome, and when you see it, you'll be. So I kind of was excited about whatever I didn't know about.
Right.
Well, that's exciting. Much success to them. I hope it goes really well. We're going to move right on to our next segment: the good, the not so bad, and the ugly. Not so bad.
That was awesome, man.
Well, we'll go through. Barry, go ahead and go through our memes and give a little exclamation in the ugly segment.
Okay, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as you can see. Well, that's not the good and the bad. The good, the bad, and the ugly segment is our first impressions of a game. The game that we've played for the first time, and we will give it a rating of either good, bad, or ugly. If it's good, as you can see, it's a game that after we play it, we don't mind playing it again. We'd like to play it again. It's something that we probably want to sneak into our collection. And as you can see, we have a nice, adorable picture here of our special guest, Mr. Dan King, with his lovely wife. And Dan is saying to
Denise,
should we use real voice for this?
Yes, you be Dan, I'll be Denise.
So Dan is saying,
"You're the best, honey. Keep smiling."
And then Denise says, "Do I get another orange room for this, right?"
Inside joke from our last podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're going to have to fill us in on that one.
Okay. Well, we just had a podcast with Berkey and Badger, and we were talking about what color you play, and I say I'm always orange because It's my wife's favorite color, and everything in this house is orange. We have orange curtains. She has an orange bike, orange helmet, orange shoes, and we have an orange Christmas tree. And then so everything's orange. So we went to a nice little thing there. And I don't know. By the way, guys, on the guild, the Dice Depot Guild, after that episode, I uploaded a picture of her and all her orangeness with the bike and the orange Christmas tree.
Oh, we got to see that. Yeah, because wasn't that something about you had seen you had met Kurt Warner or something, and he had a room with an orange Christmas tree?
Right, the Warners had the orange Christmas tree, and she went, I got to get that. And she went on a tear for a week and a half to find one.
Wow. That's strange, because you're a musician as well, Dan. And musicians normally have a green room.
Yeah.
Me. It's green.
Well, it's green until like when you have one of those old TVs and you just use the wheel underneath it and you get the tint and you push you just keep wheeling it, then it goes to orange.
Okay.
Mine just has stripes in it.
Okay, so
so the not so bad.
Not so bad is a game that after we've played it, we could take it or leave it. We might play it again eventually, or we might never play it again. It might, it doesn't pique our interest. And here we can see a snapshot of fill in the blank, Berkey.
Oh, this is the Carol Burnett show and Mama's family. You got Mama and old Harvey Korman over there, and Mama, she goes Park Place. They're playing Monopoly, by the way, for those of you who can't see this. She says Park Place, and old Carol Burnett says, Eunice says, cheater. And old Harvey Korman says, I'll let you pass if I don't have to eat your cooking. You remember that old classic skit from Mama's Family where they're all playing Sorry? And, I mean, they're having a flip the moment time, and then, sorry! Hey, that's good times. Go Google Sorry board game Mama's Family, Carol Burnett, and you'll have a good laugh.
Okay. Okay. I'll take your word for that. It must be an American sitcom that we didn't get over here.
You didn't see the Carol
Anyway,
Burnett show?
No. We got Everybody Loves Raymond.
We should have done that.
Okay, you'll have to explain the ugly as well, because the ugly is...
Leave it to Beaver. We're talking about family values. That's the Babble topic today. So what better exemplifies family values than Leave it to Beaver, right? Anyway, the brother, what's his name again? He says, how about a two-player game of exploding kittens? They didn't have it then, by the way. But Beav says,
no, they didn't. No.
Can't we just play Monopoly? He's got a grimace on his face. He's not happy about either option.
Yeah, but he might have a lawnmower like you. And that's why he wants to play Exploding Kittens. Yeah, so an ugly game is a game that after we played it once, we wish that we had a lawnmower so we could run it over, basically, and make it explode like a kitten. Might be firecrackers. You can get a firecracker. Yeah, buzz, 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 buzz.
We always lose all of our cat lover audience when we do this, Barry. You know that, right?
Yeah, cat lovers.
Hey, yeah. I love cat. I just can't in one setting. Okay, that did. Cricket.
Yeah. Oh, where is he? Where's he going? There.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So, the good, the bad, the ugly. So, what have you been playing, Barry?
Okay. Screen share time. Screen share. I've been playing, Quadropolis from Days of Wonder. This is a brand new game, obviously, and it's about a city or a village or whatever you want to call it. And you're doing this each round from a grid of tiles which are placed in the middle of the players. And you have some numbered arrows, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And on your turn, you'll place an arrow on a line from this grid, and it will tell you which of the buildings that you're going to purchase and put into your city. And obviously, the number that you use is going to a mat in front of you with numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way around. And when you buy it, say a number 3 from one line, you have to put it in one of the rows, number 3 in your line. And there's these combinations that you can do. If you put certain things together, it will do one thing. If you don't put certain things together, it might give you. You gotta like plan out which buildings you're going to buy and then arrange them into your city the best you can by using these 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. And after 4 or 5 rounds, the game ends and you total up your points depending on how you've arranged the buildings in your city. And the player with the most points is going to get beaten up because nobody likes winners. I couldn't think of anything funny there. I will edit something in.
But it's Days of Wonder, right? Days of Wonder.
It's Days of Wonder.
Family game, family values, family game.
Yeah, we're talking a family. Please, pretty quickly. We played a 3-player game for about 45 minutes, and there was a 5-minute explanation. It was quite simple to understand. And don't forget, I like Carcassonne. So, what do you think I think of this game? Do I think it's good? Do I think it's bad? Or do I think it's ugly?
Well, I know you generally like Days of Wonder, but I got a feeling there's just something that's not quite to your liking in this game, and I'm going to say not so bad. Dan, what do you think?
That's what I was thinking the same thing. They're not so bad.
Not so bad. Okay, that's what we guessed.
Oh, wow. That's what you guessed. Oh, you guessed right. It wasn't so bad. Well done.
Yay!
Yes.
Okay. Why wasn't it?
It is not so bad. I don't know. There was just like it just became. I don't know. Maybe there was a player that was too AP prone, and it was like I'd already decided what I wanted before I've just placed my tile, I've taken it, I've put it on my board, and I've decided what I want next. And then I have to wait for the other players, and it's like some of them are a bit slow at deciding what they were going to do. And then when they did decide what they did, they took the tile that I wanted. So I had to rethink my strategy, and then each time it was a case of like, all right, I take that tile or that tile on my next turn. Okay, so I'm waiting and waiting. And I don't know, it just didn't pop for me. It just it didn't have any excitement. It didn't, it was frustrating. It was a bit annoying, the fact that you couldn't get the tile that you wanted because you can't put the same line that they've put an arrow, and I don't know. I felt restricted, especially because again I was playing with someone that played. So they had their system and what they were going to do. They built a load of docks together because that gives them lots of points.
If you feel restricted, you should give it another try with the expert version because it opens things up and you have more flexibility.
Yeah, I didn't play the expert version, so.
Yes, I feel that. I feel the classic version is very restrictive, and the other version is more open. You actually draft the tiles on the numbers you want, and there's more districts, and you're not going to totally be. It's better. So if you feel like trying it again, try the other side. It might help those thoughts.
What kind of player count do you think it plays best with?
Okay.
I've played it with all, and it excellently scales at all counts, I think.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I've been hearing a little bit of mixed reviews about it, so I think
actually, I feel the same that Barry does. It's not so bad. It's fine. It's a solid game, but it's not one that I'm going to be pulling out all the time.
Did you do a review on it, Dan?
I did.
What did you rate it?
7, which I think in Board Game Geek is like good game. I'd play if you want to play it.
Yeah, I was listening to Dukes of Dice talk about it too, and I think one of the things whenever a Days of Wonder game comes out, we have high expectations because they don't come out with that many of them, and so when they do, their production values are always pretty good, and you're always pretty excited to get one, and then if it falls a little short, it might. I don't know how you feel about that, but.
Yep, I'm the same way. I love Days of Wonder. Yep, if they have something out, you're gonna be excited. Period.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've been playing a game by Blue Orange Games called New York 1901. Hanging off a skyscraper. We're playing the news. And they got this, it's really cool. It's got a great insert, by the way, which is kind of interesting as far as game. And components are pretty good. Basically what you're doing is you're building up these little skyscrapers, and you're putting them around the board. It's an interesting, you've got your little workers that you're going to send out, basically these little guys, and you're going to acquire properties. And you need to acquire these properties to eventually build a skyscraper on. But they're in different shapes. And there's different rules that will garner each game. For instance, you might have a game that says Wall Street will gain you extra points at the end of the game, whoever has the most buildings on Wall Street. And there's usually 3 of those. There's some additional rules that allow you to have more variability and other items that you can get points from, is what I mean. And then what happens is you cycle up from your first round up to your second level skyscrapers to your third level skyscrapers. So you tear down a skyscraper and improve it, basically. And there's rules that go along with that. And what do you think I have to say about New York 1901?
It's a wonderful town.
I think
if
you
you're
think it's
upside down.
You think it's good?
Dan thinks it's good.
Yep, I would say that you think it's good. I've played this game a lot and I love it. And it's a very Days of Wonder game. It should have been Days of Wonder. So
should have been Days of Wonder. Yeah, you guys are right. It's good. We get to see the orange wings. Absolutely good. This is like a perfect family game. It has this kind of set collection where you're grabbing these cards and trying to acquire certain properties and getting I don't know, it almost has like a Tetris feel to it, because you're trying to get these shapes and they can cross over one, or you can acquire a couple properties that are next to one another, but eventually you want to get one of these big skyscrapers that's going to get you 10, 12 points. We have the expansion for it as well, a little mini expansion that adds another one of these big skyscrapers. But once you place your gold skyscraper, you can't replace it. So you have to be kind of careful about which ones you're getting out on the board and when you get them out. And I've played it with all player accounts, and I found that the game is pretty tight. Any way that we've played it, I don't feel like it has that big runaway leader problem. Everybody seems really in, and if you start to pay attention, especially with 3 and 4 players, you're seeing, oh, I hope they don't take that one because I really want that one because I'm thinking about this. And the other people are kind of doing that too, and they're seeing the shapes of the skyscrapers, the buildings you're trying to build, and everybody's kind of, it's got a little bit of take that, but it's not like horrible take that. So from a family weight standpoint, it's perfect for us. Our family loves it.
Definitely.
So Dan, what have you been playing?
All right, let's see here. Let me do a screen share. Hey, do you see this picture?
Orange.
There's the orange. The good, the bad, the orange. There's the orange bike, shoes, socks, helmet, and then there's the orange Christmas tree.
Oh, wow. Orange Christmas tree, my goodness.
So what I've been playing is Imhotep. This is one of the 3 that we just talked about earlier, the Spiel des Jahres nominees from Cosmos. In this game, you are grabbing stones of your color from the quarry. You're placing them in your sled. You're then placing them from your sled into boats, and then people are moving those boats into one of 4 different locations. Depending on that location, different things will happen. Some of them you want to build up, some of them you want to build in columns, and each of them, in this pyramid, some of them score right away, some of them score at the end of the round, and some of them score at the end of the game, and each of them score slightly differently. So it's a good amount of mechanisms of what do I want to do. It's simple. There's only 4 things you can do on your turn. It's right up the Spiel's alley. But that's what you do. You're building things up. There's a lot of different ways to score. There's a little bit of take that in this game where you're placing this stone anywhere on a boat and you're hoping to move that boat to where you want it to go to. Other people see what you're up to, and they move your boat somewhere else that probably helps one of their stones that's on the boat. So that's it. You play 6 rounds, and the game's over. It plays 2 to 4 players. Plays in about 40 minutes.
Well, yeah. Go ahead, Bear.
I'm going to see the theme is a bit dry. I can see that the game being a bit dry as well because it's just a case of getting something from A to B1, B2. So I'm going to say that you don't think it's that bad because it doesn't seem. I don't think it's your type of thing, Dan. I'm going to say not too bad.
Berkey?
Yeah, I think I'm going to say, based on your initial description, which is good, on how the game plays, but when you were talking earlier about the KennerSpiel and the Spiel, and you spoke so glowingly about Karuba and code names also, but I got a feeling you're going to say not so bad.
You are both correct. Not so bad. Not so bad. I actually think it's a good game. It's a solid game. It's one I actually expected to really like. And there were a lot of things I did like about it, but it's just that I liked it. I didn't love it. It didn't feel special like Karuba, special like Codenames. It's good. I can see why the Spiel nominated it. It really fits that category well. The decisions are actually really good, but it can be pretty mean, which is one reason why I don't think it's going to win the Spiel, because I think they're all about family stuff, and this game can be pretty, you can mess people over pretty bad in the game. So that's why I don't think it's going to win. But I think a lot of people are going to like the game. It's enjoyable. It's a good, solid game. If you asked me to play it, I'd play it. It's just not one I'm going to be keeping in my library.
Yeah. Some good choices there.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, we had some good little discussion there about some family weight games, and check them out if there's something that has interest to you. And we're going to go into our games section now with none other than Dan King, the Game Boy Geek. But before we jump into what game is behind the board, behind the door.
What game is behind the box?
Can I buy a vowel? Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing in the industry, what you got going on. Tell us a little about your channel and all the things you want to talk about.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. You can find out about me at GameBoyGeek.com. I produce high-quality, high-energy board game reviews. I do full-length reviews. This last week I had a big announcement where I aim to revolutionize the way people research games by coming up, in my musician style, I come up with these Allegro reviews. Allegro, for those that don't know, is a musician term for playing at a brisk tempo. And so essentially I give a 1-minute, very condensed but good overview of how the game works, and then a 1-minute final thoughts. And they're separately shot from my other reviews, so they're intended to work really well in that 1-minute spot. So in 2 minutes you know whether you want to learn more and watch my full review or skip it and go to something else. It allows people to learn about a lot of games in a very quick amount of time. So that's my big announcement that I made last week, and I've been having extremely high praise for those so far, so I'm really excited about the feedback I've been getting. I also do other things. I've done top 10, top 5 lists. I do these things called rule schools, which are they help people learn how to set up and play a game rule for rule so they don't have to read the rule books. I've done some multi-camera playthroughs. So I do a little bit of a lot of different things, but in general, I'm mainly a board game reviewer at heart.
Your Allegro things. Have you ever thought of just doing one of your normal reviews, but then doing a time stretching, so you sound like Alvin the Chipmunk, so you can squeeze the video down? I've been thinking about doing that. So like a 25-minute review of viticulture will be squashed in 10 minutes, but it's
That would,
Alvin!
That would totally work for you, absolutely. That is right up your alley.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna do a parody then.
But you know, people watch the reviews and they've really liked those Allegro reviews, and a lot of people will think, oh, that's so simple. You're just doing a 2-minute review. They're actually so much harder to do than a regular review because every second counts, and you have to pack in as much information as you can without getting into mechanisms and getting into tangents, and it's really hard to do it well at 1 minute for overview in 1 minute. But it's going over well, and most of my reviews coming up from now on will have both a regular review and an Allegro review. Over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be at 2 different conventions. I've filmed about 10 other Allegros of some of the really popular games that you would imagine new gamers would want to be learning about quickly. So you'll see those popping up, ones that I've already done full reviews on, and all these Allegros will be popping up over the next 2 weeks to keep content going while I'm gone.
So do you script those out and use a teleprompter type of thing so that you're really tight, or?
I don't use a teleprompter. I just rehearse it enough so that I have pretty much everything mostly memorized and I could just go off the cuff. But I do sketch it out. I do sort of talk it over. I go over it a bunch of times before I actually hit the record button, and I end up hitting that at least 25 times. But since they're all 1 minute takes, you know, it's fun.
Yeah, right.
Know that feeling. Oh.
Well, I think you're really innovative, and you just this. I don't know if this was the second year that you did a Kickstarter, Dan.
First year, yeah.
First year, and I know that you know I'm a supporter of yours on the Kickstarter, but one of the reasons that I supported it was oftentimes when I go to learn a game that I need to learn real quickly and I haven't had time to look at the rules, I'll pull out the Game Boy Geek or Rodney Smith, and you know we were playing Raptor on my mini vacation with my wife down in Florida, and we brought it along, and sure enough we pulled out Raptor, and there it was, and we were watching the Game Boy Geek teach us how to play, and it was awesome.
That's cool, man. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, you do a really great job, and one of the things I've always appreciated about the video work that you do, it's always top-notch. It's your video quality, you're so concise, you're very articulate, and I think, you know, from the feedback I hear from a lot of other folks too, you're very well respected, very trusted in the industry, and when it comes to reviewers, you know, we're a couple of monkeys with keyboards here having fun, Barry and I. You know, he's smarter than me, but... You know, we don't really consider ourselves. Yeah, I can do that too. We don't really consider ourselves reviewers. We just love this hobby, love to play board games, and of course we're talking about that and talking about these games. But you do just a very professional stand-up job. So thanks for what you do. It's really, really awesome.
I appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? You can refuse to answer it if you wish, Dan. Why did you decide to go independent from the Dice Tower?
Many reasons. You know, Tom and I had a really great relationship working on the Dice Tower, and we still continue to do. I actually talk to him now more on the phone than I did when I was actually producing stuff, because I think maybe now we're peers and we talk a little bit more like that. I wanted to have the flexibility to build my own brand and be able to, you know, take my channel in a direction that I had complete creative control. Not that he didn't give me creative control of what I wanted to do there, but I've had the want to be able to build my own brand and be able to do whatever I want and kind of make this my own thing and go off and you know, make a brand and be able to possibly be doing this. You know, full time over the next few years, and not that I couldn't have done it full time for the Dice Tower, but we both just thought that I was at the point where we both felt it was best if I, you know, went off on my own, and he was very supportive of that, and still is.
Okay, it wasn't because you made a video of you sat on the toilet like I did then.
Did you get thrown out the Dice Tower? Did I not know about this?
Almost. Almost thrown out the Dice Tower.
Yeah.
I don't know how it snuck in.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to have my own thing, and I wanted to have a little bit more flexibility as to when and where things go up, and be able to have my own more of my own fingerprint on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, obviously, too, you know, it's wonderful that Tom gave you that opportunity and that audience to go before, get your name out there a little bit, and find out if this is something that you could really run with. And you know, obviously, you did a fantastic job. You were one of the more consistent contributors and did things with just great quality and integrity. So.
Yeah, and lots of editing, which I really appreciated, instead of those long 20-minute shots of the board. What's he pointing at? What's he pointing at? Zoom! Where's the zoom? Yes, and if you take this spot here, this spot does this action. What spot? I can't see! What's he pointing at? Get your hand out of the way! Yeah, so, yeah, thanks, Dan.
Hey, we're going to get into the show, but one quick question before we do that. Do you have anything that's like crazy, that maybe you haven't talked about yet, but something else really innovative that you're thinking about doing?
Paint orange.
I don't have any inside information here. I just had the thought. What are you up to next?
Good question. I do have some ideas bouncing in my head, but they're at this point they're ideas. They aren't stuff that I've actually done any pilot shooting for. Not at that level yet. I think recently one thing we hadn't talked about is I released a series. Releasing a series called Gamer Tested Spouse Approved, and these are videos where basically my wife is not a gamer, but I've noticed over the last couple of years doing this, she's got 40 games on her shelves that she will play if I ask her, and so she's becoming a lighter gamer. And so basically I interview her. Multiple camera angles, and we do in about 7 to 8 minutes. I give a 1-minute overview of the game, and then I ask her what it is she likes about the game. And it's mainly intended for people that are gamers that want to get either their friends or their spouses involved in gaming. Here's the videos to watch. Look, you don't like games, neither does she. This is why she likes it. And those have been going really good. I think we've had about 9 of those. They come out every other week-ish. It's really hard because she's a flight attendant. She's gone every week for half the week, and our schedules all the moons and stars have to align for us to shoot 4 episodes in a night. That will be a good month worth of activity. So that's one series that I've recently started that we haven't talked about, and then the Allegro stuff that we already talked about. And those 2 new things have all been within the last couple months. And now getting into convention season, it's going to be drinking from the fire hose. So I probably won't do anything too crazy until it cools down a little bit after Gen Con, when things are a little bit easier and I have some extra time to kind of focus on some newer things. But I do have some ideas.
That's awesome.
I've got some advice for you, Dan. I did do the same as me. My wife, she's not into gaming that much, but when I play a game with her, I let her win. And then she'll play it again. Just to the point when I beat her, and then she doesn't like that game anymore. So.
Yeah, I tell you, if I get my kids involved, my wife loves to play a game. But that sounds like a really great segment. I haven't listened to any of that yet. Well, let's move right on into our next segment, and we're going to talk about what game is behind the door with the illustrious Dan King, the Game Boy Geek. So, Dan,
yes,
the question that we have for you, and what we're going to do is we're going to give you 5. Barry and I get 5 questions each, and you must answer yes or no. And we're going to try to do this within 6 minutes. And the question is, what was the last game that you purchased? What was the last game that you purchased? Now, this is a game that Barry and I don't have any knowledge of, and so we're going to ask 5 questions.
Okay.
So, Badger, go ahead.
Okay, I've been thinking about this a lot because we do really badly at this game. So I'm going to start by asking: does this game have mainly Europe mechanics? That's the word.
No.
Oh, poopy. Okay, so it's mainly Ameritrash.
So no Euro. Okay, so standard Ticket to Ride box?
No.
Ooh. Okay. Would you play this game with your family?
Yes.
Yes.
25. Wow. You got a guess there, Barry?
No. I got another question though, Bruin.
Okay.
Or is it pizza?
He said yes for family.
Yeah.
Is this a party game?
Ooh. Pause.
I can only say yes or no. I would say no.
Say no.
All right.
He hemmed and hawed about that, though.
Yeah.
I know there's
Okay,
something going on.
I was going to ask if it was, because I was thinking maybe it was Ameritrash style. I was going to ask him if it was a game from Fantasy Flight, but I will pass on that because it's obviously a kind of party game, but it's not a party game. Okay.
We're watching you, Dan. We're watching you.
Yes. What could it be? Has this game been released in the past 2 years?
Good question. I think the answer is depends, and you're going to have to give me a second because the answer is depends. So
okay.
In the
Past, those are diapers, aren't they?
We can improvise while you're doing that. Do 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 do.
You see how
so I'd say no. It was not within the last 2 years.
Okay.
Oh, so it's older. Well, that's no fun.
No, it's no fun. What? Sorry.
That just made it difficult. That's not the cult of the new hotness stuff anymore.
Okay.
I was trying to throw you guys for a loop.
That's how it is, huh?
Well, you guys got to remember. I'm a reviewer. I probably don't buy a lot of new stuff. Right?
That's true.
I buy the older stuff. Actually, most of the games I buy for other people. But this one I actually did buy for myself.
Okay, I got a question. Does this game... Do you have a guess, Barry?
Yeah, I'm going to say Fury of Dracula.
No.
No Fury of Dracula. I love to bite your neck.
Oh, I like to rip my blouse.
I like to count 1, 2, 3.
There's no thunder sound effect, yeah.
Hey, if you only counted to 6, you'd kind of be close.
Yeah. So is this game mostly dice?
Yes.
I have a guess. This is the expansion for Las Vegas.
No. Although that is an excellent expansion that I wish they would bring over here. I bought it. I bought that a couple years ago, though.
Okay, we gotta pause. This is coming up towards 6 minutes, but this is the deal. I first heard Dan King talking about Las Vegas, the first game. Okay, my daughter was dating this guy. His name is Chris, and he would come over to our house on Wednesday nights, and we started doing game night. The first game that I brought out was Las Vegas after Dan King's review.
That's awesome.
Okay, and Chris loved this game. Now, he liked to play poker, and he had played Ticket to Ride and different things, but not much of a gamer. He's an outdoorsman, fisherman, hunter, and all that. But now we regularly have game night, and my daughter Hannah, after they got married about a year afterwards, she asked him, what do you miss about while we were dating? And you know what he said? He said, when we did game night Wednesday nights at your dad's. But it all started with Las Vegas. Anyway.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I'll give you 2 more hints.
Okay.
It was recently reprinted in the United States, and it was a Spiel des Jahres nominee.
Okay. Okay, so was it a Fantasy Flight game?
Nope.
No?
Scratching the brain. Scratching the brain. I like editing podcasts with big empty pauses in. This is the...
You got another quick question, Barry?
I've got... You nicked my question. I put Fantasy Flight down and you nicked it.
Almost fit in your pocket.
Can this game fit in your pocket?
Almost. It depends how big your pockets are.
Okay.
How big is your pockets?
Is it a trick-taking game?
No.
Oh. It's not going to be diamonds. I'm going to say Is it diamond? Ink and gold? No.
Nope.
Okay.
He said
You
mostly
said it.
dice.
You said it has dice. I got it. I'm going to just ask the question just for giggles, but does it have a magnetic cover?
Yes.
It's Biblios.
No.
I'm sure I saw a review Dan did of Biblios a long time ago
Yes.
for the Dice
that's
Tower.
true.
Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I think we each have one more, don't we?
No, that's 9 questions there.
All right. Well, you have one more. Go ahead.
Do I? Oh, let's make something up. Is there a theme park based on this game?
No.
Okay, I give up.
That's Steam Park. Okay,
You guys ready?
Don't we get a clue?
Yes.
Don't we get a clue? We got clues. Go ahead, tell us. Crap. Quicks!
Quicks.
Okay.
Fast Family Dice Game. Quicks.
It was nominated for the Spiel, I believe, in 11.
What?
Was it 11?
I'll have a
I
look.
don't even know what it is. It's
I know that's
what is it?
like Gigamat over here. So.
Well, the reason why I bought it was recently I had gotten Rolling America and Quinto. Quinto is one of the 5 recommended games for this year's Spiel. That game, Quinto, is like the big brother of Quicks. Quicks is like a little bit more simple, a little bit more family friendly.
You like it?
Yes, it's excellent. It's probably it's the simplest of the 3. So if you got people that aren't used to games, maybe they played Yahtzee once in their life. I played this with some non-gamers a few weekends ago. They go, "Hey, this is kind of like Yahtzee, but way more fun." That's what you get. And then you go, "Oh, okay, cool. Let's play Rolling America now."
Awesome. Okay, we're going to go to part 2. Barry, go ahead and give us an explanation of part 2.
An exfoliation.
Yeah.
Okay, an exfoliation.
Explanatory.
Okay, this is where Dan gets to show off his telestration talents and draws a picture of us of a game that he's most excited about getting, a game that he hasn't got yet, but he's planning on getting either from Kickstarter or from mail order, or it's not even released yet, but it's been announced. And he has a couple of minutes just to draw something for us, and we have to guess. And if you're listening to this podcast, you're gonna suffer and die and burn in the hell where you don't watch YouTube. Watch it on YouTube. Or we can describe it to you on this podcast. So
I bet you he has it already ready.
I bet
Of course,
you
no one
has.
can.
And
There he does.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So
describe.
we have a timeline that goes from 2006, 2007, 2009, 2010, all the way to 2016. There's a star on the top of 2016. There's some little boxes that kind of go with arrows.
And it's on Mickey Mouse Notepad.
Idea pad, the idea pad.
Okay.
He's smart.
Is this game called Timeline?
Yeah, timeline. That's an obvious guess, right?
No.
No.
Okay.
2006 to 2016, and there's a star by it.
10 years, and it's the first 4 years. Is it Star Trek 4-year mission?
Nope.
Because there's a star. Ooh. Are any of our YouTube watchers know what this is?
Got these little boxes across the top, though, and it shoots all the way from, an arrow shoots from 2006 all the way over to 2016.
Well, there's nobody online that seems to know what this is at the moment.
So I'll give you some hints since you're clearly lost.
Yeah, give us
but
a
you
clue.
would have been much more lost if I actually drew something, so that's why this is much more useful.
Okay.
So you see 2006, and what game came out in 2006 then had something to do with those games, or that game that came out in these other years, but the 2006 is pointing all the way to 2016.
Okay, so does it have something to do with like Dominion deck building?
Nope.
Beard and Board Games is suggesting that it's Back to the Future.
Nope.
No, I didn't think so, because that would be 1955 to
So
1985.
what game came out in 2006, but then had about 3 different types of sequels to that game?
What's that space one? The card game, which is now a dice game. Thing from the Galaxy.
Nope.
Roll Through the Galaxy?
No.
Is it in the Mercantor series?
Nope.
No, it wouldn't be Arkham Horror Car, I don't
Or
think.
Tempest
It came out
series.
in
is what I meant.
97, I think, 95.
Okay. How about does it have something to do with the Mr. Rummy?
Oh, it could be.
No.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with that car. I'll try that. Arkham Horror.
Nope.
No, yeah, I thought so.
Mr. Jack?
Yes!
You are correct, sir.
Why didn't I think of that?
So Mr. Jack came out in 2006, and then in my diagram shows you 2007 came out with I believe that was it Pocket Ben, and then 2009 was New York, and then 2010 was Phantom of the Opera.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then this year, actually any day now, we should be getting the 10th anniversary edition where they've redone the board, redone all the artwork, and I'm really looking forward. That was like I did a top 10 anticipated games earlier this year, and I think that was like number 2 on my list.
Yeah, why didn't
Yeah,
I
because
think
that's one of your favorite of all time, isn't it?
Yeah.
New York is definitely. I've played that game over 250 times. It's amazing.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Did you
we're
see-
going to
did
go
you
to
see-
part 3. Oh, go ahead, Barry. Sorry.
Did you see the I saw some pictures that Bruno Cathard put up on Facebook. He had the actual statuettes of the personages.
Yeah, there was an extra large version over at Essen last year, and I'm trying to talk the publisher into running a Kickstarter and having a super deluxe version. It'd be many €100, I would assume, because those things were like 8 inches tall. They were like, they were ceramic. They were like this. I mean, they were huge.
Wow.
Anyway.
Nice.
Well, part 3, our question to the guest is, what is your current favorite game? This is the game that you've been playing the most, you're dreaming about while you're working, taking it to bed with you at night. So the guest is going to give us 5 one-word clues. And after each guess, we get to guess. The goal is to stump us. So you can use any word you want, but it cannot be a title of the game or the designer.
Or a naughty word.
What?
Or a naughty word.
Or no naughty words. It's a family value show.
Okay, so I get five one words, right?
Yeah.
5 one words.
All right, I'm gonna shoot these at you pretty quickly. Okay.
Okay. Give us a chance to guess in between each one.
Yeah, we got to guess.
Obscure.
Obscure. I can spell that for some strange obscure reason.
Oh, what does that mean?
Obscure means weird. I'm gonna say Yinch.
No. German.
German.
Obscure. German. Okay.
Salvador Dali. No. He wasn't German, was he? No, he wasn't.
Pirates.
Pirates. No, that was not by. No, that was by the Polish people. That was Pool Games. I was going to say, was it Rattle Battle? But no.
Trick.
No, I was going to say Trick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. But what's that? Trickarian? The magic one.
I was going to say Dead Man. Dead Man's Straw.
No.
No,
Good guess though.
No. Dreaded Curse. The Dread Curse.
Nope. Okay. And the last one I'll give you is Schmidt.
Schmidt and Buttercut Smile. Jawohl.
Hogan's Heroes.
I know nothing. Blink. Okay.
I know nothing because I am the Pink Panther.
Does your dog bite?
I. You said your
That is
dog
not
doesn't
my dog.
bite.
That is not my dog.
We're gonna kill everyone with that in every episode now. Okay,
Obscure German pirate trick-taking Schmidt.
Port Royale.
Nope.
Well, no,
Schmidt.
Schmidt.
Board games, curse you!
Schmidt. You can't use the designer's name now, right?
That is correct.
Well, what was Schmidt? Klein Schmidt. I wrestled against a guy named Klein Schmidt, and he looked like a Klein Schmidt.
Yeah, I accidentally put my foot in some Schmidt.
Klein Schmidt. German. Pirates. German pirates.
It's those cats.
Gosh. Well, no. I think he's got me with obscure here, so.
Yeah.
He worked hard on this.
He fired at them at us really quickly as well, so I haven't had time.
Yeah, he didn't even give us time to think about nothing.
No, I didn't even time to digest my cocktail stick.
He wants to win at all costs. That's all he cares about.
Yeah, he's like Rodney Smith, I bet you. You play against him thinking that he's a really sweet kind of guy, because he has this really nice and then he stabs you in the back!
Wham! Bam! Another knife. That's Dan King, everybody. Look what he's doing to us. There's no compassion here, nothing. German, I'm going to say Catan. It's not obscure, though. Whatever.
The last clue I gave you had to do with the publisher.
The publisher, Schmidt. So that's the hint that you're giving us, huh?
Yep.
I agree.
Is there a Schmidt up there at Ludinate or something, or?
I'm gonna have to.
Good. Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, you got us. Thanks a lot. Okay, Dan, let us have it.
All right. There is a publisher in Germany called Spiel. Spiel. And they have apparently a popular game that's over there, but it's obscure from where we are. It's a trick-taking game about pirates called Skull King. It's based off of a very old game back in the 30s called Oh Hell. And that game was sort of also re-implemented in the 80s from a trick-taking game called Wizard. And this is sort of taking those aspects and adding even more to it. So it's called Skull King, and it's one of the best trick-taking games I've played, and just played it recently, and it's amazing. It's 10 rounds long. Each round, you get one card in round 1, 2 cards in round 2, and so on, all the way to round 10. And each round, you simultaneously bid how many tricks you think you're going to take. You have to nail your bid perfectly. If so, you get 20 points per trick. Otherwise, you get minus 10 points for the difference that you were wrong. And it's really, really awesome. There's all sorts of different characters you can throw out that trump other characters. It's a blast. We've been playing it like crazy lately. There it is. There's Skull King.
Yeah, there's got some pictures.
There's an American version out called Grandpa Beck's Skull King, but the artwork on that is awful.
Oh, yes.
No.
Yeah, so don't get that version. It's awful. The other version, there's a couple of places you can find it online. But if you like trick-taking, this is an amazing game. We've been going nuts with this lately. In fact, I would have had it in my hands here, but a friend of mine came over about 20 minutes before the podcast to come borrow it because I'm going to be out of town for the week, and they wanted to keep playing it.
Oh, cool. We just played Dwarf King, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Dwarf King's fun. Pretty chaotic, but fun. Yeah, that Bruno Fiduti game.
Yeah. Well, Dan King, the Game Boy Geek, has totally bludgeoned Berkey and Badger into oblivion. Yeah. There I just used a bunch of B words.
What a B word he is, huh?
Yeah,
he beat us 2-1.
Blasted.
Let's give him a...
Way to go, Dan. You're smart. We're going to move right on in to our next segment. I'm so excited about this. I think we're having a great little talk. Our Babble topic is called Family Values. And basically what we're going to do is talk about board gaming and family weight board games and how board gaming has related to our families. And I think there's going to be a real interesting discussion there. Barry, do you want to start us off on what your thoughts are about this topic?
Okay, yeah. Number one, I'm going to add a little something in here. I just wanted to make this episode a dedication to my dad, because without my dad, I probably wouldn't have got into board gaming the way I had. I've told you about my mum and her family were all card players, but it was my dad that taught me how to play chess. And he was the only other person that would play Battleships and Connect 4 with me. And I later discovered in life that he actually always cheated so he would win. Yes. So, yeah, my dad is not in good health at the moment. He's suffering. He's not suffering, but he is suffering at the same time. He has terminal cancer, and we saw him the other week. And I just want to say thank you, Dad, for teaching me how to play chess. And last year he taught my daughter how to play chess, and she loves playing chess now. So, thank you, Dad, for cheating and teaching us chess. Anyway, for me, family games are the best part about this hobby. It's that time where nowadays, everyone gets to leave their little corners in the house because, you know, daddy's in the garage and mama's in the kitchen. Yeah, I know, stereotype. But this is this time where everyone gets together in one room and plays together and communicates and has a good laugh and possibly cheats. And for me personally, it is that best time of your life. That's where the best memories of my family come from, is those moments around the table, laughing about who has picked up the free parking, and also having a good laugh about everything else that goes on in life, instead of those really nasty moments where you slice your finger off. That's not a very nice memory. That's not a very nice memory. You've sliced a bit of your finger off, and then you realise you've got 2 gigs to do on 2 consecutive nights. That's not a good memory. But having that memory of being around the table and your dad stabbing you in the back and winning the game again, like he always does, is a fantastic memory. And hopefully they won't go away. And hopefully my daughter will think the same of us. And so we're going to talk about family games. What makes a great... Hit the microphone. What makes a great family game? And let's open this up to everyone. Let's start with, what kind of theme makes a good family game for you?
Well, I tell you, I'm very much like you, Barry, that family games have had such an important role in our family. We started playing games when the kids were little, some of the basic games that you would find in the big box stores. But it was probably about 10 years ago that we started really coming into what we would call the modern designer hobby. You know, Settlers of Catan came out, and we acquired that. And every year at Christmas, we would buy a Days of Wonder game. And back in the day, if you subscribed to Days of Wonder, you could get 1 game or buy 2 games and get 1 free with a coupon. That was back in the good old days. And anyway, we would acquire all of those games at Christmas time, and we generally would have 1 or 2 games that we would pull out. I remember getting Pirates Cove, for instance, talking about theme. Theme was always huge for our family because our family loves drama. We did a lot of skits and things like that on the road. We would do these love language banquets and teach on family-related things, and we would have a skit for each one of these 5 languages of love, and they were quite funny, and they were always well received. We did this drama called Who Moved My Cheese from Spencer Johnson's book, and I had full costumes and so forth. So it was a real natural progression when it came to gaming, that if there was a theme, we would just immediately slip into whatever that game was designed like. And so Pirates Cove, it's like, ha ha ha, you know why pirate jokes are funny, don't ya?
Because they are.
Because they are, yeah. and so, I mean, it was perfect for us to jump into that kind of thing. So theme was super important for us as far as horsing around went. And pirate-themed games were great. Ticket to Ride too. You know, even though it's a train game, but there was always that type of whatever theme there was something that our family would incorporate. So theme was huge for us. How about you, Dan?
Themes for family games? The ones that seem to work the best, I think, are light and fun themes about animals or exploration or something that's easy that the family can relate to. That's fun and friendly, I think.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel that a good family game doesn't need a theme as well. We are very, very fond of the Great Dalmuti, which is a trick-taking game, and the theme is really, really light, but it's just a fun card game. Uno, again, is another game that we play a lot of. Again, no theme, but it makes a great family experience. But then again, you have these big, heavy theme games like edit. Steam Park.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just totally blanked. I didn't want to tell you any games from my top 3 here. So, yeah, games like Steam Park, which has a big theme, you're building a theme park, is, again, just a great family game. Moving on. Do we believe that a family game should have a player count? A certain player count, sorry.
Go ahead, Dan.
I think it should at least be able to play 4 people. Whether it plays 4 or less or 4 or more, I think it's got to play at least that. It can't be a 2-player game, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But it can't. So it's kind of hovering around that and going out a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree. Again, especially if a family game goes up to more than 4 players, if it goes up to 6 players as well, that makes it even better. Because there are families which have quite a few kids. And again, if you've got relatives around, it's good to get your kids and your other relatives together, I feel. So anything between 3 and 6 is a good player count for me. Berkey?
Yeah, you know, for us, you know, I have 4 children. And 2 of them are married, and so when we get together with families, sometimes we can have up to, 8 people out, hanging around. So player count has an effect, but generally we don't always have the family together. So it seems like for us, 4 players seems to be the kind of the niche that we end up having 4 of us together as a family playing. But I think it just depends. There's certain family games that fit all of our needs, and we'll talk about that a little later in my favorites as well.
Okay. Is there anything that in particular that stands out for you in a family game, which makes a family game a family game? Is there any particular element? Is it the theme? Is it the playing time? Is it the ease of rules?
Yep, all of that. Easy, yeah. For me, it's got to be easy rules. If you can do more than 4 things on your turn, it's not going to be a family game. And think of Ticket to Ride. You're either playing cards or picking up cards. Even think of Imhotep that we just talked about. Yeah, there's 4 things you can do, but the majority of the time you're deciding between 1 or 2 different things. So have a limited rule set, but yet have with those limited rule sets a lot amount of depth and good decisions to make. And keep it definitely under 60 minutes. Between 20 and 60 is probably about perfect.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's for us. I think if that hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half even, we're okay with that as a family. It starts getting my younger son, my son Josiah. We can play the 3-4 hour games, but the rest of the family just doesn't have the gaming stamina to do that. So it doesn't fit that family category, I don't think.
Yeah, I would go as low as, say, 15 minutes. A 15-minute game is still a good game because it gives you that possibility to play it again or play something else. Yeah, so anything under an hour, 15 minutes, above 15 minutes is a good family game. Although Zombie Dice is, 5 minutes, and that's fun as well. But how do you feel about cooperative games? Do they make good family games, or?
Yeah, I think they make really good family games. I think they're excellent because, again, talking about the rules is people don't like to learn new rules, and cooperative games you're learning together. You can jump right into the game quickly, and they can learn with you, and you can help them out. I think, and I think cooperative games are so important to family games because when you learn to work through problems as a family in a game cooperatively, then when real life happens, you already know the formula for working together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
How
do you feel about backstabbing then? Games that have more of a backstabbing element.
I think it's fine if your family is cool with that, right? Like some families love to get at each other's throats in a good, fun way, and others don't. And I think it can be depending on your family and your family dynamics.
Yeah, I like it because it gives the children a chance to do nasty things to the parents. Kind of like. Not revenge, so to speak, but it's that chance that they can feel superior over you by stealing something from your treasure chest, or whether it's they eat one of your people with the shark. It's just that feeling of I got one up on daddy, yay! And then you do feel like that guy in all those commercials. You don't get those commercials, do you?
How about mechanisms and how do you feel about mechanisms in family games? Do you want a very basic mechanism, or do you want several mechanisms working together in order to qualify, if you will, for this category family game?
The simpler the better. Keep it simple, stupid.
I always say keep it simple, stud muffin.
I always say, keep it simple, Nacho Libre.
Oh, Nacho. You remember that time when I was in my glory?
No! Oh.
And then I ripped my blouse.
And then you had a crown. And a medallion.
Yeah, I think, my family has really grown in their gaming. And this is an interesting evolution because over the last 10 years, my daughter Gabrielle, she absolutely loves Takenoko. Well, I consider that a good family weight game, but she has gotten so good at it, none of us can beat her. I don't know what it is. But we've got the new what is it, the Chibis Chibis expansion. And it adds that little extra dynamic where you've got the mama out there and the baby, and it's just adds a little complexity. So there's different things going on, and I'm seeing my family liking games that have more depth to them now. So now they're like Concordia is for several of my family members is right up there, and there's a lot going on in there, I think, but it's not crazy heavy, but they're liking a more medium weight versus a super simple scenario. And that's not the way it used to be.
No, I could imagine. Things were a lot easier with the simple games that you'd play once and then you'd play it immediately again. Maybe not the same day, but the day after. So there is that replayability element, and it's that case of, they beat me this time, but now I know how to play this game, I'm going to beat you next time. No.
So there's replayability. How important is that to you guys in family gaming?
It's very important, unless I win and then the wife doesn't play. So.
So is replayability a big issue for you, Dan, in a family weight game?
Yeah, I mean, it should be one of those things where you play it 10 or less times and you're done with it, because you're going to want the family to be around playing it. You're going to want a good value. You want to be able to have a lot of plays for the amount of money you spent on the game. So I'd say replayability is a big thing.
Okay.
So how about components? We'll go in and talk about our top three each here in a second. But how important is production value of the game components when it comes to having a good family game? Dan?
For me, It does matter, and I think the better the components, the better the experience, the easier it will be to draw people into these types of games. But if the game is really good and the components are not, the game always overcomes that. For example, Game of 49, when it was first released in the first edition, it was some of the worst components I've ever seen. But you know what? It made my Family Game of the Year for 2014 for a reason, because it's just that good. And now that they've come out with the second edition, that looks a lot better and components are a lot nicer.
You can't get it at Cool Stuff anymore, and I've looked to try to find it. They had it for a while, and I had it pre-ordered, and then they took it off of there and said you can't get it.
So yeah, they're going to be there. Well, the good news is in July 18th, they're going to be in 2,000 Target stores across America.
Oh.
This game, I was one of the the people that championed this game because I loved it so much when it first came out, and I kind of yelled through my megaphone to everybody how good it was. And I'm glad to hear that this little publisher is going national with it, which is really good. So components, yes, they're important. Yes, they can help bring people and draw them into the game. But if the game's good enough, it will still survive without it.
Mm. I would say it didn't really matter about the components, especially with a family game. You can, as I said before, playing Uno is not really a component-heavy game. And again, another little drawback with having super components is after you've played, your children will want to play with the components. And if you bought like your special edition of Takenoko, with the big panda bear, and your kids want to play afterwards, and they're going, "Oh, let's go! It's Barbie here as well. Oh, you like Barbie?" And all of a sudden, tink! Whoops, Daddy!
Off goes his head.
Yeah. Precisely. So, for me, components don't really matter with a family game. You can play with a relatively simple game. I mean, Connect 4 or a nice simple chess set or any kind of card game, you don't really need the super components. But, I mean, as Dan said, they do help get the game to the table and people are a bit more interested.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I think if the game is really good, I can overlook it. But there's no question that components matter to me because we love to trick out our games, and whenever we're playing with the little Stonemaier chess tokens and all that kind of stuff, it always adds that little extra, or the coins, we're using real money instead of paper money, or tricking out poker chips, so that type of thing. That always adds to the experience, and my whole family loves that. So the more the merrier, but like you say, there are exceptions to that. So. Why don't we go through and each list our top 3 games, and let's start with number 3, and we'll just go in order. We'll go with Badger, Dan, and myself, and we'll just do that 3 times to Mark go down from 3, 2, 1.
Okay, my number 3 is a game that you've already just talked about today, and that is New York 1901. This is a fun, light family game with some great components, some nice artwork, and very simple rule set. Plays really quickly. It does involve a kind of high-level thinking at the same time, but at the same time, you don't really need to have that high-level thinking. You just take a card and just build anywhere. It doesn't matter. Really enjoyable, fun family game for me.
Awesome. Dan?
Yeah, for me is actually the one I just talked about, Game of 49. It's my number 3. I've never, ever, ever once played this game where everyone didn't say, "This is so much fun. Where can I get it?" I mean, it's just to watch people outbid each other and to get into it, and it's so simple. It's Connect 4 with an economic engine and a lot of depth behind what's so simple, and watching people get excited and overbid each other and trying to talk your buddy, "Hey, you gotta beat him or we're dead," and it's 25. It just really has that interaction that I love and the simplicity. So, Game of 49.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to throw a little wrench in here. You guys can too if you want, but I have a couple honorable mentions that I have to throw in.
No,
I know.
You're banned. Get off. Where's my red card?
No, I can do this. Come on.
I've got a green thing.
No, I own 50% of this podcast. That means I own nothing. But anyway, no. Honorable mention: Sheriff of Nottingham. I just got to say that. Our family loves this. We love playing bluffing games. There's another game by Nauvoo Games called Stockpile, which is just such a fantastic weight with a little bit of information. And then New York 1901. Those three just made an honorable mention list because they're games that we truly love. We play regularly. But my number 3, okay, I got to do it like your summoner. Number 3. That is good. Number 3 for our family is Lords of Vegas. Now, we love Lords of Vegas. Lords of Vegas, you're trying to build these hotels along the strip, and you can trying to get the ones closest there for build. We have the up expansion too, so that you can build up. And every time we play this, there's a little bit of random, but the way it works is so much fun. We've bought these huge Baccarat chips that we actually use for the game instead of money. These big Baccarat chips. Yeah, like Burt Baccarat. And the thing about Lords of Vegas that we always seem to have these standing around the table moments. We're all waiting to see what's going to, especially when we're trying to take over somebody else's hotel, or we're trying to remodel or whatever, and we have these moments where everybody's just like, oh, come on, oh, I'm gonna do it. No, let's trade. Yeah, it's always so much fun. So we love that game. Lords of Vegas. That's Mayfair Games. Okay. Barry, number 2.
My number 2 is a very nasty kind of stab in the back game, and it's Survive Escape from Atlantis. It's a little complicated for some children, but once they get used to it, it is hilarious fun. Teaming up and attacking your dad or your mom and killing all their people and making all your people survive. It is fun, colourful, and good humour. It makes me laugh all the time. I love this game. It's one of my favourite games of all time. And that's Survive Escape from Atlantis.
Those are all excellent choices. By the way, Berkey, I just reviewed the expansion for one of the ones you just mentioned today. It went up a couple hours ago. The Stockpile expansion. I just reviewed it, so check that out later today.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep, and I did both the regular and the Lego review. Anyway, number 2 for me is Mysterium. We talked about cooperative games and how important they are to families. And again, I've just had so much good luck with this game, bringing it to new people that haven't even played board games really of this kind before, and just absolutely loving it, loving the interaction, listening to what other people have to say, hearing other people's perspectives on what this art means and what he's trying to tell us. And it's an absolutely amazing family game. It plays up to 7 players, and still takes only about 45 minutes. So it's one of the best. Mysterium.
I'm glad you said that and not Dixit, because with children, Dixit's a bit. It doesn't work so well. They look at the card and they go Cinderella, and then they put out the cards, and there's a picture of a Cinderella. So that it's that one. That one's yours. Oh, why do I never win, Dad?
And my recommendation is with the caveat of do not use, if you're buying the new version through Asmodee in North America, do not use the bidding mechanism that they put in there. Just keep it completely.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Well, number 2 for us. Now, I have to put a little caveat with our list. My list is a little bit more from a perspective of children that were starting at around age 10 and now are adult, and we do a lot of family gaming now as adult children. From Barry's perspective, he's got a young daughter that is playing too, so there's a little bit different. And Dan, do you have any children?
I do not.
Yeah, I didn't think. You play with your extended family and your immediate family, right?
Right, yep.
So you're playing more adult family games?
Adult, or children down to the 11s and 12s.
Yeah. So my number 2, given that, is the game by a company we've already talked about, game that we come to know and trust and expect high-quality games with very good inserts. And our game is from Days of Wonder, Colosseum. Now, this game, we just love this game. I would say it's almost a little bit more of a medium weight in a sense, but it's very accessible for families. It's not hard to teach. There's an auction mechanism. You're trying to go around and build your little show. And that you're putting on for the emperor, and you've got these tokens, the emperor token and the senate tokens, and these guys running around the board. You want to build your coliseum a little bigger because you get extra points for that, and there's always this interaction back and forth with this bidding of which of these guys am I going to get a gladiator, or am I going to get a horse, or am I going to get a lion, or am I going to get a pot, or the pillars to build my stage, and at each one of these levels that you're doing that, you are getting more points for them, and then you flip it over, and then you're going on to the next show. And so you can trade your pieces with everybody, and I don't know, every time we play this game, we just have a blast, and it's one that is regularly asked for by all the family members. Tasty Minstrel Games has just coming out with a reprint of it. Now, I have the Days of Wonder version. I love the art. I love the way it's produced, but I'm thrilled that Tasty Minstrel Games, I know some people had some questions about the artwork, and I did too, to be honest. I didn't know if I liked the cartoon version of it, but nonetheless, I'm thrilled that they're doing this because this game is fantastic, and I think people will really enjoy it.
Okay, we're on to our number ones, and my number one, can you guess what it is?
Legends of Andor.
Drum roll. My number one is Splendor.
Oh, I should have known that.
You should have known that. It's
everything is splendor.
No, I haven't got a song in my head. Yeah, it's just a very simple game with some very simple mechanics, some nice clunky chips, and it's basically a card game. You set collecting cards, and it's a race to get to those 15 points. And this game just goes down really, really well. It plays very, very quickly. You're looking at about 30 minutes to about 45 minutes, and once you've taught someone this game, they are hooked. They wow, how did you win so quickly? Or wow, yeah, and it just has this kind of, Space Invaders, I've got to try and beat you this time kind of feeling. I don't know, Space Invaders or Pac-Man. I don't know, like an old school arcade game where you just feel this urge that you're gonna, oh, I lost, but this time I'm gonna beat you. Let's play again, and then you play again. Very, very, very fun. Very, very addictable. Love it. Recommend it to anyone. Splendor. Should have won a Spiel.
Good choice.
Okay. Dan, with a drum roll.
Number one for Dan King, the Game Boy Geek family game.
My number one family game is the one that I have gotten more people into the hobby with than any other game ever, and I still play it a ton, and that is from Days of Wonder, Ticket to Ride. I absolutely love this game. I've again, much like what I said about Game of 49 and Mysterium, I've never played this game with a group of new people and never had all of them say, this was amazing, where do I get it? I mean, it just plays so well, so simple, easy mechanics, but a lot of depth, and then they can build upon it with as many expansions as they want. So Ticket to Ride, my number one.
Okay.
Excellent.
And now, number one for Berkey.
Ta-da! Well, okay. This is kind of hard, but there's a reason I'm saying this is our favorite family game, because I had the perspective that this is because of my family. Not necessarily that this is for everybody else's best family game, okay? But I did do it nonetheless. My number one is Nothing Personal.
No!
There it is.
I totally had a feeling you were going to say that.
I realized that this isn't just super light family weight game. I get that. But every year at Father's Day, we play Nothing Personal. And my kids have so much fun with this game. it can be a little long, so it doesn't really meet my criteria. I get it. I apologize that I didn't follow the rules, but this is our best family game. We love it. We always have fun. We get into our mob role voices, and it's just a blast. And it's probably just a little bit lengthier, but it's not that hard to learn how to play. And the characters, and it's always a blast for us.
Okay. I'm going to give a shout out to one of our viewers who's just answered the question, what's their favourite family games? They put down Ticket to Ride and, surprisingly, Agricola. Which,
Agricola.
I would agree.
Well,
my daughter likes playing Agricola. She likes building up the pens and putting animals in it, and then I take them away from her and eat them. But that's just me. I'm nasty.
Well, you know, this kind of makes up a point. You know, who says what a family game should be? If your family likes playing it, you know, I know we've kind of given it a category. You know, that means it's a lightweight, easy, short game. But really, the truth is, if this is about family and your family likes playing it, hey, more power to you.
Exactly. Even if it's like Magic the Gathering, if your family likes playing it, it's a family game.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I suppose we've kind of made a category called family weight games. What do you know, Dan? You're probably, you know, more about categorizing games, but
yeah. I wouldn't necessarily put nothing personal in the family weight game, but
no. That's why I said Royals. I was expecting.
No, I know that. You know, I could have said Seven Wonders too, because our family plays that all the time when we have everybody together, and we play that steampunk.
Steampunk race rally.
Yeah, Steampunk. We play that a lot, but we'll play Codenames together when the family is all together. So there's so many of them that the family like, but I totally get it. Nothing personal is more of our family favorite, and so that's why I put it at number 1.
Okay. Shall we wrap up by saying a big, wonderful thank you to Mr. Dan King, who is now going to spiel off some wonderful website addresses and places that you can find him and his wonderful work.
I want to thank you guys for having me, because, you know, we got to have you last month, and it was the most interesting one we've ever had, I dare say. But the conversations were great, and that kind of led to this. And so now I got to live in your world, and it was a pleasure. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was awesome, Dan. Just a lot of respect for you and what you do, and we're so grateful that you were able to come on the show with us and share with our fans, you know, the things that you're doing in the industry. So if you haven't checked out the Game Boy Geek, I highly recommend check out his videos. Great tutorials, great insights and recommendations. I think you'll really enjoy it. So thanks again, Dan.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Yay! Woo-hoo-hoo. Well, Barry, Mr. Badger, another great show. Thanks so much, and we're going to be back after Origins. We'll get that information to you, but make sure you jump on the guild number 2248, and you can check out and get in. Tell us what you like in a family game. Tell us what you think about our. You know, you can rip on me for nothing personal. That's totally fine.
It's nothing personal.
It's nothing personal. Yeah, find out what the type of things that make up a family game for you, and some of what your favorite family games are. Likewise, we'd love you to join us on Facebook at Berkey and Badger. You can also join us at BoardGameTheater.com, and you can see all of our past episodes of Board Game Theater. You can see the episodes of Berkey and Badger show on the Badger page, and then you can also go to Board Games Everybody Should. That's Barry's website, and you can also check us out on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. And we'd love to interact with you. Give us a like. Join us on Board Game Links, too. the more the merrier. We're really looking forward to interacting with you, our fans, and the people in the hobby.
Yeah, maybe put a comment, say if I should grow a beard as well. Because, I mean, that makes a change. We got a guest with no beard. Woohoo! Thank you, Dan. Saved by the beard.
Well, he's got a little fuzz.
Is he?
Yeah, he hadn't shaved since this morning.
Uh-huh. I thought it was just like the orange reflecting off the wallpaper there or something.
You know, something like that, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Well, send us off there, Barry.
Okay.
Great talking to you again, buddy.
And you, chap. I'm going to go to bed. It's gone past midnight now.
All right. Tally-ho.
Tally-ho. Good night. Music. Maestro. There it is.
We're so glad we had this time together. And now it's time to go.
Ready, boys.
It won't be long until we have another show. So keep us in mind, get online. Berkey and Badger will be back in no time.